to give just a few moments to see if someone's going to hop on. And if you did miss the beginning of the live, you can always watch it on replay. But I'm going to go ahead and get started. My name is Pamela Anthony. I am with Behind Time Farm and Garden, and it's been a while, quite a while since you've seen me in this spot here. But I'm hoping that there'll be more times to come. Of course, last year about this time is when I first started all my lives, standing right here in front of my old Hoosier cabinet. But I just have something very simple to share with you this evening. We're not going to actually make a recipe. I'm just going to show you how to roast an old heirloom blue Jarrahdale pumpkin. And then next week I'm going to follow up with a recipe using what we have roasted. Because throughout the Christmas, Thanksgiving season, I like to have fresh pumpkin on hand. I normally freeze it in a Ziploc bag or a glass container in the freezer. When choosing a pumpkin, I'm just going to start right here real quickly. The big orange ones, which we normally are familiar with calling them jack-o'-lanterns, it's fine to bake those, but they're really watery. They have a lot of water content to them. And this right here, I've already started and done some baking today. So I can actually go ahead and show you the finished product. But look at the inside of this blue Jarrahdale. Look at the flesh on how orange, look how meaty. I mean, this is just a little small area right here that, of course, it's all the way through inside the Jarrahdale, but there's not a lot of seeds or gook, as I call it, but look at just how meaty the pumpkin is. It does not have as much water content as just a jack-o'-lantern. I like to bake or roast the blue Jarrahdales and then the old-fashioned, I call these old-fashioned Thanksgiving pumpkins. And of course the pie pumpkins, they have less water content as well. But if you've ever baked a Jarrahdale, you know what I'm talking about when I'm talking about taste. Just by roasting this part of the pumpkin today, as soon as it came out of the oven, of course the aroma is just unbelievable, but it has such a good taste. I can actually eat it just straight from the oven. Now I do like to drizzle our local honey on it, just a little bit of butter. It's like almost roasting a sweet potato or some type of squash, and these are actually called squash. This is an old heirloom, like I said, and you can also, what is really good, and it may be possibly one of the recipes I share next week, is pureeing the pumpkin. And you just add a little bit of the, I've already scooped out some from what I baked earlier, and adding a little bit of water and putting it into a blender or a processor, food processor, and making some puree. It's wonderful to add to shakes. And the health benefits are phenomenal from this. And as you know, that we grow everything all natural here at the farm. We did not grow the Jarrahdales, but they are grown all naturally from a friend of mine. But I'm going to go ahead and get started. First of all, I want to thank you all for joining me tonight. I know it's been a while, and I'm so sorry I feel like I've kind of neglected you all in a way. Because once I started these, and then once the flower season started, it was see you later live videos. There was no time. So I'm hoping to get back on and share some, I've got some decorating tips lined up, some arrangements, and before, one really quick reminder is people have been asking about the farm stand. Are we going to have fresh greenery? Are we going to have Thanksgiving centerpieces, Christmas wreaths? Yes, yes, yes. I've actually already started harvesting and preserving some of the greenery in buckets with water. So I hope to start on the wreaths this weekend. There will be Thanksgiving centerpieces on the farm stand, just very simple ones. And there'll be fresh wreaths, fresh Yule logs. We've already cut the logs and got the holes drilled for candles. And yesterday and today, I trimmed all of our boxwoods for boxwood wreaths like we had last year. I actually still have my boxwood wreath from last season upstairs in my bathroom. They do fade a little bit, and there's, when it gets brittle like that, I just love it's kind of like a sagey green, and it's out of direct sunlight. If you still have any of yours that, the ones that purchased from last year, some people are spray painting them white, spray painting them back the green color that they were, because they are going to fade some because they are a fresh boxwood wreath. But anyway, that's just to answer a lot of people that with messages that's been coming in. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. First of all, I like to cut my Jarrahdale in half. For tonight, I've quartered it, and then I have half the quarters. Normally, I just cut it in half, and then I make 4, I quarter it, and bake it that way. But a lot of people, you don't want to go to the trouble of lowering your racks on the oven. And I normally just put them on the racks and put a pan underneath to catch anything that's dripped. But for today, I just cut it like this, kind of like in wedges. I know someone earlier on Facebook asked what kind of cantaloupe that was. It's not a cantaloupe, which it does. Look at that. It does look like a big fat cantaloupe, but it's not. So I've been cutting slices off of this Jarrahdale, and all I do is just cut. And like I said, you will be amazed about how much less stringy goop there is in a meaty heirloom like this. So I've cut this one, and I'm setting it back here on my fold cookie sheet. You don't have to. Now, like I said, and they are very tough. You don't have to do this. They do cook faster if you're cutting them in smaller slices like this, or wedges that I call. But you can use it as a quarter, cut them in quarters. And, like I said, I'm not going to do the whole pumpkin right now, what's left, because I'm actually going to leave the 1/4 and cook it or bake it. I love roast pumpkin. It just has a taste, and especially leaving the skin on, it just makes the flavor that much better. And look at these seeds. I mean, look at that, how plump the seeds are. And if you have extra time on your hands, you can roast these, and with not a whole lot of the insides. Very easy to pull off and wash to roast, and very good. But I'm going to go ahead. That's all that I'm going to do. But you've gotten the idea that I'm quartering all the way around. I may go ahead and cut this one. And this knife is sharp. Like I said, it's just, these pumpkins are very thick-skinned. And actually, this one doesn't even have any. So it's going to go onto the pan as well. And like I said, line a cookie sheet I like to with aluminum foil. There's not a whole lot. You'll be very surprised. No juices whatsoever. Now, what I'm going to do with this one, I'm going to spoon out what's left here. And you want to have a big container that you can spoon out the inside in. And if you are like us and you have chickens, now Hugh will be your chicken's best friend. this is like a major treat for them. They love the seeds. And actually they're working on a blue Jarrahdale right now. Of course, the seeds are the first thing that they love to eat. So they are working on one of those right now, but they will get the insides, which is, like I said, is their favorite. So you're going to clean, and I'm going to show you just what, I promise I won't be long. I had to send my husband and the girls to the basement with Miss Ella because they were making so much noise. My husband was like, this is pretty bad, we have to go to the basement for you to do a live, but it's just, I'm nervous as it is, and to have them in the room next to me listening. So anyway, you can see that I've hollowed that out, and what I'm going to do is, the stem, normally I break the stems off and I let them dry and use the next season for when I make homemade, or not homemade, handmade pumpkins. I will use real stems. But this one the stem is not coming off, so I'm going to leave it and I'm going to bake it just like this. And of course we got all that nice gook and seeds. Now I'm going to show you what we're going to do with our pumpkin. Now I've already, as you can see, I have just a cookie sheet lined in foil. My oven is at 425, and I'm going to take let's wipe all the seeds off. I'm going to take some organic, refined coconut oil, and I'm going to rub down this flesh because it just gives it, I don't know, it gives it more of a roast. It helps it when it roasts, it just goes into the flesh, the coconut oil does. And I love the color of it when it comes out of the oven, when it's rubbed with this. So as you can see, I'm just rubbing down the flesh of the blue Jarrahdale. And you can, do as much as you like. If you're not very much of a big coconut oil lover, olive oil, you could do that. You could do butter. We use a lot of coconut oil here, and so I just love using as much as I can in my baking. Now they have a good layer on them, and what I'm going to do is when you're fixing them in a wedge like this, the smaller, and they're so much easier to work with, and they cook faster. So if you're wanting to fix a dish like pumpkin soup, a quiche, yes, you can put them in quiche, smoothies, meatloaf. There's so much that you can do with an old heirloom pumpkin. And it doesn't necessarily have to be the Jarrahdales, but like I said, I noticed someone last week, no offense against Martha Stewart, I love Martha Stewart, okay, but said that Martha Stewart said that canned pumpkin was just as good as making one from scratch. I do have to disagree with that. And just the whole process of doing it and baking it, and it's just so rewarding, and the taste, like I said, of a meaty pumpkin like this, there's no comparison. So once we got that coated down with coconut oil or olive oil or butter, whatever your choice may be, and you could go ahead and put some seasoning on. If you're just going to eat the pumpkin when it comes straight out of the oven, you could do, if you like it sweet, you could do cinnamon. You could do, like I said, I just like, my honey, my natural honey. But I like it in savory dishes as well, like the soup, the meatloaf, things like that. But this is going to bake for about 45 minutes, and you'll be surprised how quickly or actually roast for about 45 minutes. This is the finished product. If you can see, I don't want it to slide off. This has been done for just a little while, so the peeling is a little swiveled. So I did this earlier. You can peel the skin. Look, it's very easy, just like a sweet potato. And these skins, if you're a skin person, you could actually eat them. But the chickens are gonna love those. And I dice it up. So if you didn't want to use a knife or anything, I like to use it because I'm losing. When I start peeling this, I'm losing some of my pumpkin, which I'm sure that the chickens will appreciate. But I like to get, because it takes a good sized pumpkin to make, some good recipes. So I don't want to lose, as my mother would say, don't waste any of it. And I seriously doubt that she would be, the chickens would be getting the skin. So as you can see, I've already baked these or roasted them. And that is my way that I prefer. You can use a stock pot. You could cook in there, especially if you're going to puree it. You can peel the skin before you cook it. That is totally up to you. I have tried that before, or actually did once. It's just so much easier for the skin to peel right off after roasting. And again, the coconut oil just gives it such a wonderful flavor. I don't know if y'all can hear my baby chicks. They're in the laundry room under a light. And it seems like they're getting a little anxious. Or, as I may say, Roman's baby chicks, my grandbaby, that's coming in about 3 weeks. And he will be here for 10 days. So I seriously doubt that you'll see me those 10 days. But anyway, so you can see here that I have cut up the chunks. What I'm going to do with this, because I'm going to bake more, is this is going to go in the freezer in Ziploc bags. And all I have to do, or you can make pumpkin, look, squirrel, you can make pumpkin muffins, pumpkin bread. There's so much that you can do with baking your own pumpkin. And next week I'm going to come back live and I'm going to do a recipe here for you. I haven't decided which one. If you would, in the comments, I can't see who's on and I can't see any of your comments. Let me know what you would like to see a dish made out of pumpkin. Would you like to see a soup? Or a shake? Or a quiche? A meatloaf? Pumpkin pie? Pumpkin muffins? Pumpkin bread? I mean, and look, just with one pumpkin, you've already got enough to fix several dishes here, possibly 3, depending on how much you use in each dish. Oh, and pumpkin pancakes. I forgot about the pancakes. So this one is rubbed down, so it will go in the oven along with these slices. I'm going to make sure that I put it in the middle so it will get the most heat. So I guess that will conclude this evening's live baking a blue Jarrahdale from scratch. Or you could use that, not just a blue Jarrahdale, but the old Thanksgiving pumpkins, the pie pumpkins. And if you, all that you have, that you may have some, the jack-o'-lantern pumpkins left over from the autumn season. I know next week is Thanksgiving, and what perfect timing is this in order to use your pumpkins up and to create different meals for your family. And you know what? You could even put pumpkin in your dressing, your turkey dressing. The possibilities are endless, and as me and my mom would always say, she was my partner in crime, my biggest cheerleader, as she would always say, there's no rules. Do what makes you and your family happy, what taste that you all like, whether you like the pumpkin sweet or in a savory dish. That is options that we have, and that's what creates your traditions. So, and this would be a fun project for you and the children to do. If they got a pie pumpkin from the pumpkin field, for them to bake it and, bake muffins or pancakes. So anyway, I'm going to let you all go. I'm going to put the rest of the pumpkin into the oven, and if anything, it's the aroma in the home, and it's those little things that bring happiness and joy to your family, things that your children remember. My great nieces, the girls that I call, it amazes me at what they remember at a young age. They just ask me, Grandma, when are we going to start making Christmas candy? Peanut butter balls, snickerdoodle cookies. It's that smell when your children come home for the Christmas or Thanksgiving season. Walking in, it's just, I'm home. I smell pumpkin in the oven, or a cake, or a cookie, or a pie. It's those simple things that mean a lot. It's not the materialistic things that we buy them. But anyway, I just wanted to share this, and I was a bit nervous. Like I said, it's been some time since I've been on showing my face, but I want to embrace who I am today, who God has made me, with no makeup, hair not done. That's who I truly am from a day-to-day basis here at the farm, and so that's who I want to show you all. So I very seriously doubt that you'll see me with a lot of makeup on from now on. But anyway, I want you all to have a wonderful evening, and if you have those pumpkins that have not been frosted or have not got caught in the freeze that we had a few weeks ago, then bring them in if they're on the porch or what have you, and if not, bake them. Use them for your Thanksgiving centerpiece to create a vignette or a tablescape. Use all things natural as much as you can. That's what God has given us, the beauty around us to provide, and create with. So you all have a blessed evening. And if you don't care, or if there's a recipe that you've been wanting to bake or what have you that involves fresh pumpkin, leave me a comment, and I'll search and see what I can come up with for next week's recipe using the Jarrahdale that we have prepared today and that I'm getting ready to prepare. Thank you all for joining me, and God bless.